Okay, if you're a mid-career professional in Singapore, I've got a question for you. Have you noticed that clock ticking? It feels like it's set for 2026. The ground is literally shifting under our feet, all because of AI. So the big question on everyone's mind is, how do you stay relevant? Not just relevant, but actually valuable in this whole new world. Well, that's exactly what we're about to unpack. And listen, this isn't some far-off prediction or just hype. This is a direct quote from the head of AI at Microsoft. He's talking about the core tasks of so many white-collar jobs. You know, the stuff we all do at our computers every single day? And that timeline, 12 to 18 months? That isn't years away. That's basically right now.
And you've got to understand, this isn't just some global trend that Singapore is watching from the sidelines. No way. This is at the absolute heart of our national strategy. The government isn't just letting this happen, it's actively pushing the change, making this a top-level national priority.
And here's the proof right here in the government's game plan. This isn't just talk. We're talking about a national AI council led by the Prime Minister himself. Specific missions to inject AI into our biggest industries, finance, healthcare, you name it. And get a load of this number, a plan to train 100,000 workers. This is a massive, full-scale economic pivot, and it's happening fast.
So, with this huge strategy coming from the very top, what does it actually mean for you, on the ground, in your job? Let's get really specific and look at the degree-based roles that are feeling the squeeze first. Let's start with the staff accountant. Think about the bread and butter of this role. All those routine reconciliations, sorting expenses, getting documents ready for an audit. These are structured, predictable tasks. And honestly, they are perfect targets for AI platforms that can just do it faster and with way fewer mistakes. And it's pretty much the same story over in the legal world. That classic paralegal work, sifting through mountains of documents, summarizing case law, all of that is getting compressed. I mean, an AI can now do in a few minutes what used to take a whole team of people days to get through. And if you're an analyst, a lot of that routine reporting is right on the chopping block. Pulling campaign data, writing up A/B test results, documenting business requirements. AI is just fantastic at that kind of consolidation. The real value is shifting away from gathering the data to deciding what to do with it. So this brings us to a really important question, and I want you to be totally honest with yourself here. Think about all those tasks we just looked at. How much of your typical workday is spent doing that kind of stuff? Is it, 30%? 50%? Maybe even more? Whatever that percentage is, that's your vulnerability score right there. Okay, so that was the reality check. But here's where we pivot. The future isn't about trying to protect your old tasks from AI. It's about evolving your entire role to focus on what AI can't do. And what's that? It all comes down to one word: judgment. So just look at this split. On the left, you've got all the structured, repeatable work that AI is just going to own. But on the right, now that's where the new value is. We're talking about high-level human skills, making a tough strategic call, spotting an ethical problem, guiding a client through a really messy situation, or coming up with a creative solution when there's no playbook. That is the new safe ground. You know the CEO of NVIDIA, Jensen Huang? He absolutely nailed it. He said this isn't about you versus a machine. It's about you versus your colleague who figures out how to use that machine to be 10 times more productive than you. The real threat isn't the tool itself, it's being outmaneuvered by someone who masters it. But here's the good news. You are not expected to figure this all out on your own. In fact, the government has basically built a fully funded escape route to help you make this exact career pivot. So let's dig into how this lifeline actually works. All right, the big headline number you need to know is this: $4,000. If you are a Singaporean age 40 or over, the government has topped up your skills future credit with this amount, and it's specifically designed to help you upgrade your skills for this new world. And the real power is how these three things stack up. First, you get a massive subsidy, covering up to 90% of your course fees. Then you take that new $4,000 credit to pay off most, if not all, of what's left. And then, and this is the absolute game changer, you actually get paid a monthly allowance while you're upskilling.
Yeah, you heard that right. This is the part that takes away the biggest roadblock for most people, which is losing income while you study. Let's break down exactly how you can get paid to learn.
So you've got two main paths here, depending on your life situation. If you can commit to full-time training, you can get 50% of your last drawn income, all the way up to $3,000 a month. But hey, if you can't afford to quit your job, you can train part-time and still get a flat $300 a month to help out.
And you have up to 24 months of this support to use over your lifetime. It's incredibly flexible.
So let's just put this all together. With up to 90% of the course covered by subsidies and that $4,000 to pay for the rest, for many of these powerful career-changing courses, your out-of-pocket cost becomes, effectively, zero. Nothing. You pay nothing for the course and you get an allowance. It's an incredible deal.
So, look, this is about way more than just learning a new software. It's about transforming yourself into a completely new kind of professional. The whole goal here is to become the exact person that the 2026 job market is desperately looking for. And here's the term for it, the AI bilingual professional. Think of it like this. You're still the expert in your field. You're the accountant, the lawyer, the marketing manager, but now you can also speak the language of AI. You can direct and orchestrate teams of AI agents to do complex work for you. It's a huge step up. You're not just prompting anymore, you're commanding.
And this is what it looks like on your CV. The old way is that boring, generic line, proficient in Gen AI tools. The new way? It's a power statement. It shows you didn't just use a tool, you engineered a solution. A smart AI workflow that, for example, automated compliance checks and cut manual work by 60%. That's how you prove your value in the language that every single employer understands.
So, there it is. The situation is pretty clear. The threat is definitely real. But the opportunity is massive. The government has literally built a bridge to the future of work. It's fully funded, and it basically has your name on it. The only question left is, are you ready to walk through that door?